Chapter 31. When the manservant heard Jing Yu's scolding, his body trembled violently. Only when he saw that Jing Yu had disappeared into the distance did he regain his senses and scramble away. This prince's residence was already frightening enough with the 9th emperors. Now, there was an additional 9th imperial concubine, Xiao Chun. Jing Yu leaped off Silver Arrow's back and shouted loudly at the tightly shut study. Imperial concubine. Jing Yu blinked and saw that Xing Yi and Xing Er had both appeared at the door of the study. They looked at Jing Yu, and then at the 2 gray wolves behind Jing Yu. Their faces instantly turned green. They had no idea what Jing Yu was up to. "You're here." Jing Yu blinked in surprise. She arched her eyebrows and smiled at the 2 of them. "I'm going to bring these 2 out to the streets. I specially came over to inform your 9th emperors." "Out to the streets? Bring them along?" Xing Yi's eyes were slightly dazed. He looked at the huge creature standing behind Jing Yu and instantly became confused. "Imperial concubine, did you think that the streets weren't chaotic enough, so you wanted to go out to scare people?" "That's right. It's too boring here. I'm going out to scare people." Jing Yu's cracked teeth made Xing Yi's face instantly darken. She was really going out to scare people. "Xing Yi, send someone to follow her. Let her go." Just as Jing Yu was about to ask, Xiao Qin's cold voice came from the tightly shut room. Xing Yi immediately bowed towards the study and acknowledged. Jing Yu's eyes lit up in surprise. She sighed in her heart. Luckily, Xiao Chun still had a conscience and didn't lock her up. "Are you sure you want to make such a big scene?" Jing Yu originally thought that there would only be a few people following her. But what was the meaning of these 2 rows of armored soldiers holding spears? Why did she feel like she was on a parade? For the sake of safety, Imperial concubine's safety must be guaranteed. Interrogation Officer 1 quietly lowered his head in response. His gaze drifted towards the 2 gray wolves. Who knew if these 2 big fellows would suddenly go berserk for no reason? Jing Yu's last scene on the streets was extremely flashy. The way everyone on the streets avoided her made Jing Yu feel very bored. She looked at the 2 standing beside her like wooden blocks and didn't speak. Xing and Xing Er. She wanted to cry. "Ah, the horses are frightened. Quickly dodge." Jing Yu was squatting on the ground and talking to Feng in boredom when she heard a series of panicked cries coming from the front. Jing Yu looked up and saw a petite girl riding a horse and charging towards Jing Yu. "What the?" Jing Yu widened her eyes in shock. Just as she was about to dodge to the side, she realized that when the horse was 5 meters away from Jing Yu, the armored soldiers suddenly thrust out their spears and pierced through the horse's neck. Bang! The horses fell to the ground, and bright red blood covered the streets. The noisy surroundings suddenly fell into a strange silence. Everyone looked in disbelief at the 2 rows of soldiers in black armor. "Ah!" It wasn't until a sharp scream broke the silence that everyone ran away in a panic. They were tens of meters away from this place and looked at the soldiers in horror. "Shut up." Jing Yu had just walked over to check if the girl on the horse had fallen to her death when she heard the high-pitched scream. She was so frightened that her heart trembled. She angrily reprimanded the girl, causing her to be stunned. Chapter 32. The woman frowned and immediately stood up when she saw Jing Yu. She lifted her chin and asked, Who are you?" "Shouldn't I be the one asking you that?" Jing Yu looked at the woman who was about the same age as her in amusement and said, "Why are you riding a horse on the street?"
"It's because—"
The woman was about to speak when she suddenly heard the sound of horse hooves not far away. Jing Yu and the woman looked up and were instantly stunned by the woman on the horse. What an elegant and refined lady. "Little sister Lan, are you all right? You really scared me to death just now." The woman in white got off the horse and anxiously held the woman's hand as she spoke. "I'm fine." The woman raised her hand and shook off her touch. She looked arrogantly at the woman in white and said, "Miss Jing Yan, I'm not your little sister. Don't always call me that." I'm just—" The woman in white, who was called Jing Yan's face, turned slightly pale. She looked at the woman with some apprehension, as if she had been wronged by the woman's words. Her appearance really made people feel pity for her. "Shangguan Linglan, Miss Jing is just concerned about you. Why do you have to say such things?" A young lady behind couldn't stand it anymore and stood up to glare at the arrogant Shangguan Linglan. Humph, did I say anything wrong? Why do you have to pretend like this? It makes people feel disgusted. Besides, who was the one who threw the whip on my horse when I was riding? Shangguan Linglan looked at Jing Yin coldly and arrogantly. The look in his eyes was very obvious. Lan, Miss Shangguan, I really threw it accidentally. It's my first time riding a horse. I'm not like you, who was born in a family of generals and knew how to ride a horse since you were young. Jing Yin lowered her head and didn't dare to look at Shangguan Linglan. What accidentally? Next time, I'll try throwing it accidentally. Shangguan Linglan looked at the horse on the ground and arrogantly said to the crowd, This has nothing to do with you. Go away. I, Shangguan Linglan, don't want to cause trouble. When Shangguan Linglan finished speaking, the expressions of the people behind Jing Yin changed and they took a step back. Jing Yu watched from behind with great interest and sighed in her heart. It seemed that Shangguan Linglan also had a backer. Look at how he reprimanded her. You saved me, but you killed my horse. We're even. Shangguan Linglan suddenly turned around and said to Jing Yu, Oh. Jing Yu paused for a moment before nodding her head. There seemed to be nothing wrong with that. Wait, I didn't kill the horse. They were the ones who killed it. Jing Yu turned around and looked at the black-clothed men behind her with hidden bitterness. Just as she was about to turn back, she saw that Silver Arrow and Silver Wind were licking something with great interest. When she saw the big word wine on the jar, Jing Yu was so scared that she almost jumped up. You two drunkards, do you want to die? Jing Yu's angry shout attracted the attention of Shangguan Linglan and the others. Only then did they realize that Jing Yu was there. When they saw Jing Yu running away quickly, they saw the two huge gray wolves. Silver Arrow, Silver Wind. Jing Yu lifted her foot and kicked the two gray wolves by their ears. She was so angry that the ladies were stunned. Wolf! Wolf! Ah! There are wolves. Suddenly, screams sounded one after another. Everyone's attention was on Jing Yu. Chapter 33. Young ladies these days. Why are their hearts so weak? Isn't it just two wolves? When Jing Yu heard the cries of surprise, she sighed helplessly. Her mouth twitched as she looked at Yin Jian and Yin Feng, who were swaying left and right from drinking too much. These two damn fellows, I really can't take it anymore. Jing Yu kicked the two lying on the ground, Yin Jian and Yin Feng. You are the 9th imperial concubine? Just as Jing Yu was muttering, a strange voice suddenly sounded beside her ear. She turned her head and saw that the person who asked the question was actually the white-clothed Jing Yu. She raised her eyebrows in surprise and said, Am I already that famous? You are really the 9th imperial concubine? This time, the person who exclaimed was Shangguan Linglan. He looked at Jing Yu with astonishment in his eyes. Can I be? Jing Yu shrugged and blinked as she asked. Rumor has it that the 9th emperors brought back a strange woman who actually dared to train wolves at the city gates and scared the second prince. So the rumor is true, you really can tame wolves. Shangguan Linglan looked at the two gray wolves that were lying on the ground drowsily and was extremely shocked. Ha ha ha. Jing Yu laughed dryly and silently wiped away her cold sweat. The news spread too quickly. The second prince probably wanted to kill her right now. How did you tame those wolves? Shangguan Linglan looked curiously at Jing Yu and asked. It's probably because I drank wolf milk when I was young. So the wolves thought that I was their companion. Jing Yu shrugged nonchalantly. You drank wolf milk when you were young. What about your parents? Shangguan Linglan suddenly felt that Jing Yu's life must be very rough. A strange feeling arose in his heart, and he really wanted to get closer to Jing Yu. Who knows? Jing Yu turned her head away and looked like she didn't want to talk about it. How did you get to know the 9th emperors? I heard the 9th emperors treated you very well. Jing Yu stepped forward and looked at Jing Yu with a smile like a good sister. Jing Yu looked strangely at Jing Yu and said, I forgot. Forgot? Jing Yu's voice suddenly became sharp. She then smiled shyly and said, Imperial concubine, you are joking. How can I forget? If I don't want to remember it, I'll forget it. What does it have to do with you? Jing Yu rolled her eyes and turned to leave without even looking at Jing Yin. Wait. A trace of anger flashed across Jing Yan's face. Seeing that Jing Yu was about to leave, she hurriedly stopped her. Is there anything else? Eldest young miss. Jing Yu turned around impatiently and looked at Jing Yin in confusion. Was there something wrong with this woman's brain? Couldn't she see that she was very impatient? Why was she talking to her when she wasn't related to her? I just want to ask, what are you wearing around your neck? Jing Yan's eyes flashed as she looked at Jing Yu and asked. I don't know. I picked it up. Jing Yu said indifferently. She turned around and said to Xing Yi, what are you looking at? Carry these two fellows back to the prince's residence. Why are there so many problems on a trip out? Yes. Interrogation Officer 1 bowed and responded. He then began to direct those armored soldiers to go up and propel the two gray wolves with their spears, carrying them back to the prince's mansion, leaving behind a group of stunned young ladies and commoners. Jing Yin returned to the prime minister's residence with a heavy heart. A servant girl walked over and saw Jing Yan's appearance. She asked worriedly, young miss, what happened? Chapter 34. I'm fine. Jing Yin waved her hand and sat on the chair. Her eyes kept looking at her master's necklace on Jing Yu's neck. She subconsciously raised her hand to touch the pearl on her neck. Because it was hidden behind her collar, it didn't show itself. Qiushui, do you still remember the daughter that eldest uncle's family has been searching for? Jing Yan's heart skipped a beat as she looked at the servant girl beside her and asked, young miss, are you talking about the young miss who was born with different pupils? Didn't they say that she fell off the cliff with her mother and died? The servant girl called Qiushui was slightly shocked as she looked at her young Mississippi. Did they really fall to their deaths? Jing Yin blinked and asked Qiushui, young miss, that was more than 10 years ago. She must have fallen to her death. Otherwise, why would there be no news of eldest uncle after searching for more than 10 years? Qiushui said. Jing Yin slowly heaved a sigh of relief and nodded for Qiushui to leave. Jing Yu led a group of people back to the prince's residence while carrying the two big fellows, Silver Arrow and Silver Wind. However, they unexpectedly bumped into someone outside the prince's residence. That person in a crescent moon robe was about to come out of the prince's residence when he bumped into Jing Yu, who was walking in. Be careful. Bring them back to my courtyard. Second interrogation officer, go get some hangover soup and force it down their throats, Jing Yu said with a frown.
Yes.
Xing Er's expression stiffened slightly. He looked at the soldiers who were sweating profusely and silently turned to prepare the hangover soup. What a big gray wolf. A man's exclamation sounded. Jing Yu looked up and saw the man who was squeezed to the side. At this moment, he was looking curiously at the gray wolf being carried in. Then, he turned his head and met Jing Yu's eyes. Young Master Fong. Xing Yi saw that man and bowed slightly. I was wondering why I didn't see you by Ninth Master's side. So you went out to play with the Ninth Imperial Concubine. The man walked briskly in front of Jing Yu and looked at Jing Yu with a smile on his face. His eyes were filled with curiosity. What are you looking at? Is there a flower on my face? Jing Yu frowned as she looked at the man. She felt that he was like a fox, someone who hid a knife behind his smile. The man was stunned. He probably didn't expect that he would be reprimanded. His face stiffened, and then he smiled even more happily. He bowed to Jing Yu and said, I am Fong Ziqing, the Ninth Imperial Concubine. It's nice to meet you. His gentle and modest appearance made people feel very comfortable, but Jing Yu inexplicably trembled. She looked at Fong Ziqing vigilantly, blinking her eyes as if she was facing a formidable enemy. If you want to leave, then leave. I'm not interested in you. Jing Yu waved her hand and turned to leave. Hey, you haven't told me her name yet. Fong Ziqing was stunned for a moment and shouted at Jing Yu's back. Ask your Ninth Master. Jing Yu's voice sounded from afar. The smile on Fong Ziqing's face deepened. He clapped his hands and said, Interesting, interesting. It seems that the rumors in the palace are true. This Ninth Imperial Concubine doesn't know etiquette and is arrogant. It's really interesting. Young Master, don't tell me you're interested in this Ninth Imperial Concubine? A green-clothed manservant standing beside him looked at his young master's expression and was instantly alarmed. He stared at Fong Ziqing and asked, No, no, no. I'm just curious. How did Ninth Master take a fancy to this lady? Look, she can even tame wild beasts. It's really scary. I don't have the life to provoke such a lady. Feng Zicheng shook his head. Chapter 35. Phew, that's good. The servant let out a sigh of relief. His master was too fickle. Who knew what he was thinking? Jingyu walked as she asked Xing Yi, "Who is that man who looks like a smiling tiger?" Interrogation Officer 1 was slightly taken aback when he heard this. Only then did he realize that Jingyu was talking about Feng Zicheng, and a smile appeared in his eyes. A smiling tiger. This description was too apparent. He is the only son of Grand Secretary Feng Zicheng. He is also one of Master's rare friends, Xing Yi said. This kind of person is obviously a backstabber. Only Xiao Chan would have this kind of taste to be friends with him. Jingyu sighed repeatedly. Xing Yi's expression stiffened. Was this a compliment or a derogatory one? Jingyu returned to the Lotus Garden. Seeing that Yin Jian and Yin Feng had been fed sobering medicine, she let out a sigh of relief. She couldn't help but wonder if she should chain these two wolves the next time she went out. They were too disobedient. They actually got drunk. Xing Yi returned to Xiao Qin's side and reported everything that Jingyu had done today to Xiao Qin. When he heard that Yin Jian and Yin Feng had secretly gotten drunk, Xiao Qin's expression was slightly strange. He thought that something big had happened and he had to pack up. He didn't think that these two wolves would get drunk themselves. What is the imperial concubine doing now? Xiao Qin's face was slightly pale as he asked with narrowed eyes. The imperial concubine has already fallen asleep, Xing Yi said. Xiao Qin nodded and didn't ask any more questions. He waved his hand to dismiss Xing Yi. Xing Yi hesitated for a moment before looking at Xiao Qian and saying, "Master, it's almost the 9th day of the lunar month. Your body, it's fine. The medicine will be delivered on the 10th day of the lunar month. It's just one more day," Xiao Qian said with his eyes slightly closed.
Yes.
Xing Yi lowered his head. His eyes were full of seriousness as he turned and slowly left. In the Lotus Garden, Jingyu was sleeping soundly. Her sleeping posture was not beautiful at all. After living in the forest for a long time, Jingyu had a natural sensitivity. In this dark night, even the slightest movement of the wind could wake the sleeping Jingyu. "Who is it?" Jingyu's eyes suddenly opened. In the pitch-black room, Jingyu's eyes suddenly flashed with a green light before returning to their original pitch-black state. The person outside the curtain paused slightly. He stood on the spot and said, "It's me, Xiao Chun." Jingyu lifted the bed curtain and saw Xiao Chun standing not far away in black. She blankly blinked her eyes and asked with a frown, "Why aren't you sleeping in the middle of the night? Why are you here pretending to be a ghost to scare people?" When Jingyu saw that it was Xiao Qian, she immediately dropped the vigilance in her heart. She lowered her head dejectedly and angrily looked at Xiao Qian. "I'm not here to sleep." Xiao Qian gracefully walked to the bedside. Jingyu hurriedly reached out her hand to stop Xiao Qian from moving forward. She looked at Xiao Qian in disbelief and said, "Hey, we agreed that you are not to touch me." "Who agreed with you?" Xiao Qian grabbed Jingyu's hand and flipped over to lie on the bed. He held Jingyu in his arms. That posture made Jingyu angry. How could this damned man be so strong? You didn't keep your word." Jingyu wanted to cry but had no tears. Her hand hurt so much that she couldn't break free. "It's good that you know." Xiao Qian's words seemed to carry a hint of tiredness. He slowly loosened his grip on Jingyu's hand. As soon as Jingyu relaxed her hand, her elbow immediately attacked Xiao Qian's chin. Xiao Qian's face turned cold. He flipped over again and suppressed Jingyu. Chapter 36. If you want to sleep like this until daybreak, then move a little more. "I don't mind removing one of your hands," Xiao Chun said coldly as he pressed down on Jingyu's wriggling body. "Damn it, you're sleeping in my bed, and you're preparing for me to resist. Who set this stupid rule?" Jingyu was instantly enraged as she spoke through gritted teeth. "First of all, this is my bed. The entire residence is mine." Xiao Chun smiled coldly as he looked at Jingyu and said, "If you want to resist, then you need to have the ability. Why ask for trouble?" Jingyu was stunned. Then she buried her face in the blankets and wailed. What kind of sin did she commit? "Let go." Jingyu broke free from Xiao Chun and accepted her fate. She hugged the blankets and rolled to the side, giving up the spot beside her to Xiao Qian. Xiao Qian looked at Jing Yu's small body, and his lips curled into a satisfied smile. That night, Jing Yu fell asleep with a heart full of hidden bitterness and curses. When she woke up, there was no one beside her. There were only the marks of being slept on. Jing Yu stretched lazily. When she didn't see Xiao Qian when she woke up, her mood instantly lightened. Imperial Consort, you're awake? Imperial Uncle ordered for breakfast to be brought over now? Yin Xiao heard Jing Yu wake up and immediately asked from outside the screen. At least he has some conscience. Jing Yu raised her eyebrows and lifted the curtain. Yin Xiao walked in, her face still red from embarrassment. Jing Yu was slightly stunned. What was Yin Xiao doing? Why was she blushing so early in the morning? This servant will help you wash up. Yin Xiao didn't dare to walk towards the bed. Instead, she first combed Jing Yu's hair. Hey, don't misunderstand. We didn't do anything last night. Jing Yu saw that Yin Xiao didn't even dare to raise her head and instantly understood. She hurriedly explained. This servant didn't think. Yin Xiao's face became even redder. Jing Yu helplessly covered her face. Forget it. She didn't want to explain. With her body, if Xiao Qian really wanted to do it, then she really had nothing to say. Jing Yu lowered her head and let Jing Yu comb her hair. Because of the previous example, Jing Yu specially told Yin Xiao to have her hair in a simple bun. Since she hadn't entered the palace, she naturally didn't enter the palace. Jing Yu didn't receive the imperial edict. Because Jing Yu's eyes widened. She stared at Xiao Qian and asked, You want me to go to the academy to learn the rules and etiquette of the palace? Jing Yu looked like she was struck by lightning. She stared in disbelief at Xiao Qian, who was leisurely sipping his tea. Yes. Xiao Qian raised his hand and pushed the imperial edict on the table forward. Jing Yu picked up the imperial edict and read the contents. The more she read, the angrier she got. This emperor's head must have been hit by a door. Who wants to go and learn those troublesome etiquette? Jing Yu stood up angrily and threw the imperial edict away. She stared at Xiao Qian angrily and said, I'm not going. I want to go back to Roman Forest. This matter isn't up to you. Xiao Qian narrowed his eyes and looked at Jing Yu. Heaven's school. Jing Yu was about to go crazy. Who was the one who said that the ancient era didn't need to go to school? Looking at you. You really do need to learn the rules and etiquette of the palace. Xiao Qian put down the teacup and stood up. Tomorrow morning, I'll send you to the academy. I'll bring you back half the time. Chapter 37. Really want to go? Jing Yu blinked her eyes, then looked at Xiao Qian and asked. Xiao Qian faintly glanced at Jing Yu, then turned and left without saying a word, leaving Jing Yu in the same place. Yin Xiao couldn't stand it anymore, so she comforted her in a low voice. Imperial concubine, it's a good thing to be able to study in the Imperial College. You can get to know a lot of young misses. Good my ass. If I find out who made me go to the Imperial College to study etiquette, I will peel off her skin. Jing Yu said with red eyes. Aya Imperial concubine, lower your voice. Yin Xiao was so scared that her face turned pale. She hurriedly pulled Jing Yu and said, This imperial edict was sent by the Empress Dowager to the Emperor. Imperial concubine, aren't you insulting the Empress Dowager? This is a big crime. You will be beheaded. Empress Dowager? Jing Yu slightly froze, then she frowned and had a strange look on her face. Yes, Imperial concubine Yang Yang and Empress Dowager have always been close. The 9th Imperial Uncle's consort selection is a big matter. Only Imperial concubine Yang Yang has seen Imperial concubine Yang Yang before. It must be Imperial concubine Yang Yang, who whispered into Empress Dowager's ears. I was wondering why the Empress Dowager would give an imperial edict for no reason. It turned out that it was that woman's doing. I didn't go to provoke her, but she actually came to provoke me. Jing Yu's face sank. She coldly sat on the side and said, Isn't it just learning etiquette? I want to see what kind of trick she wants to play. Jing Yu was sent to the so-called Imperial College by Xiao Qian early in the morning. There were all kinds of carriages parked outside the gate. When they saw a black carriage slowly coming, everyone's face changed. The shining symbol on the carriage was Xiao Wangfa's symbol. Oh God, why did the 9th emperors come here? Is the rumor true? The 9th Imperial concubine is going to attend the etiquette class with us? No way. The 9 emperors are personally seeing him off. Jingyu sat in the carriage with a dark face. As soon as the carriage came to a stop, she could hear waves of discussion outside. Jingyu sneered at Xiao Chun and said, "It seems like you are really popular." Xiao Chun silently glanced at Jingyu and stepped down from the carriage. When his handsome face appeared, all the young ladies outside held their hands nervously and stared at Xiao Chun with fiery gazes that gave Jingyu goosebumps. "I'll pick you up tonight." Xiao Chun raised his hand and tidied up Jingyu's hair. His gentle action immediately made the eyes of all the women around him turn red with jealousy. Who was the one who said that the 9th imperial concubine would die? Look at her. She was still alive and kicking. "In Xiao, did you notice that those people seem to want to swallow us alive?" Jingyu looked at Xiao Chen's carriage. She turned around and was stared at by countless eyes. Instantly, her hair stood on end. "Imperial concubine. The person they want to swallow is you, not this servant." In Xiao suppressed her laughter and said to Jingyu, "Not bad. You have only been with me for a few days, and you dare to make fun of me." Jingyu pretended to be angry and turned to glare at In Xiao. In Xiao quickly lowered her head and said, "This servant deserves to die. This servant is only speaking the truth. Don't you know that people who speak the truth don't live long?" Jingyu raised her eyebrows and said, "Hey." In Xiao was about to reply when she was interrupted by a surprised greeting from beside her. Jingyu turned her head in confusion. There was someone here who recognized her? When Jingyu turned her head, she realized who it was. It was Shangguan Linglan, whom she met on the street last time. Chapter 38. It's really you? Shangguan Linglan walked up and looked at Jingyu from head to toe. "You don't even know if it's me, and you're already greeting me? How bold." Jingyu raised her eyebrows and looked at Shangguan Linglan. "Haha, I thought you would come to school on your wolf." Shangguan Linglan was stunned for a moment and then laughed out loud. He found Jingyu more and more pleasing to the eye. Those two guys were drunk and are still in a daze. Jingyu rubbed her forehead helplessly and said, "You're also studying here?" "Yes, we'll be classmates from now on." Shangguan Linglan looked at Jingyu with a smile and said, "My name is Shangguan Linglan. If you have any questions in the future, you can ask me. This school isn't safe. You'll definitely be bullied if you don't have any background. If anyone dares to touch you, you can tell me." Jingyu looked at Shangguan Linglan in surprise. That look of, "I'll protect you," greatly improved Jingyu's impression of him. She nodded with a smile and said, "I will. Let's go." Shangguan Linglan was just about to bring Jingyu into the school when he saw Jing Yin walking towards them. "The 9th imperial concubine is also here to learn etiquette? We'll be classmates from now on," Jing Yin said with a smile as she looked at Jingyu. "Yes, we'll be studying together from now on." Jingyu laughed dryly and said to Shangguan Linglan, "Let's go in." Jingyu completely ignored Jing Yan's goodwill and brought Shangguan Linglan into the school. Shangguan Linglan was slightly stunned and gave Jingyu a thumbs up. She actually ignored Jing Yan just like that. How arrogant. What's the background of that girl? Jingyu didn't know why, but she inexplicably felt that Jing Yan was too fake. She didn't have a good impression of her. "You don't know?" Shangguan Linglan heard Jingyu's question and suddenly widened his eyes as he looked at Jingyu. "Should I know?" Jingyu blinked her eyes and asked with a confused expression. "She's the young miss of the Prime Minister's residence. Her name is Jing Yin." Shangguan Linglan. Prime Minister's residence. 2. Today's first lesson. Stand. The instructors were 3 nannies specially invited by the palace. They were not soft-hearted at all. They beat and scolded those who needed to be taught. In the eyes of these nannies, there was no family background. At least, that was what they appeared to be. Not bad. This standing posture was not difficult for Jingyu, who used to stand in a military posture. Mother Yun, the leader, looked at Jingyu's motionless standing posture and nodded with satisfaction. Mother Yun, who rarely praised others, actually praised her. Suddenly, everyone could not stay calm. Jing Yan's eyes flashed with anger. This girl had only been at the academy for 1 day and had already stolen her limelight. She was obviously a wild girl with no family background. She relied only on her identity as the 9th imperial concubine. How could she compete with her? The more Jing Yin thought about it, the angrier she became. Her heart was heaving up and down. She couldn't stand steadily and began to sway. Jing Yin, what's wrong with you today? Mother Yun frowned and looked at Jing Yin. Jing Yin was usually the best among these girls. Why did she make so many mistakes today? Chapter 39. I know I was wrong. I don't feel well today. Jing Yan's face turned pale. She pretended to be delicate and bowed to Mother Yun. Don't come if you don't feel well. I didn't come here to see you like this. Mother Yun's face turned cold. She was not moved by Jing Yan's words. She waved her hand, and the two nannies beside her were about to help Jing Yan out of the school. Mother Yun, please forgive me. I can still stand. Seeing the two nannies' actions, Jing Yin was shocked. She stood up straight to show that she was fine. If she was sent out of the school halfway, it would bring shame to her family. Mother Yun glanced at Jing Yin indifferently and waved her hand to continue. She stood for the whole morning. Everyone was wobbling. Only Jing Yu and Shangguan Linglan looked normal. Mother Yun looked at Jing Yu in surprise. You are Jing Yu, right? Mother Yun waved her hand to ask them to rest. She turned to look at Jing Yu and asked, Yes, I am. Jing Yu blinked and nodded. Good. You are a beautiful piece of jade. Mother Yun praised her again and stood up to leave, leaving Jing Yu confused. Jing Yu, you are amazing. How did you do it? Shangguan Linglan asked, holding Jing Yu's hand with sweat on his forehead. His eyes were full of amazement. You are not bad either. Jing Yu raised her eyebrows and looked at Shangguan Linglan. I grew up in the army. It's nothing for me to stand here. Shangguan Linglan pulled Jing Yu to a stone chair and sat down. She said happily, You didn't see Jing Yan's expression just now. It was almost dripping ink. You didn't even steal her limelight. So what? Jing Yu raised her chin proudly and said, She dares to hit me? Haha, I like your temper. Shangguan Linglan looked at Jing Yu and laughed out loud. Well, are you the 9th imperial concubine? While Jing Yu and Shangguan Linglan were chatting happily, another voice interrupted. Jing Yu looked sideways and saw a girl in light green looking at Jing Yu nervously. I am. And you are? Jing Yu blinked and found that she had no impression of this beautiful girl in front of her. My name is Ning Xiangyu. I've heard about you a long time ago. Now that I've met you, you are indeed as amazing as the rumors say. Ning Xiangyuan looked at Jing Yu excitedly with a look of worship. Jing Yu was slightly stunned and quickly waved her hand. It's just a rumor. Well, Ning Xiangyuan hesitated and lowered her body to look at Jing Yu. You just offended Jing Yan. She will definitely secretly make things difficult for you. You have to be careful. Just as Ning Xiangyuan finished speaking, a sharp voice sounded. Oh, isn't this the future 9th imperial concubine? Why didn't you say hello to everyone? The woman in the lead was wearing a purple robe. She raised her chin and looked at Jing Yu. Countess Xiling, the daughter of the eldest princess. She has always been good friends with Jing Yin, Shangguan Linglan quickly said to Jing Yu. So it's the famous Countess Xiling. I heard from the 9th emperors that you are gentle, generous, and kind. Jing Yu smiled and politely bowed to Xiling. Really? Xiling was slightly shocked and her eyes flashed with surprise. She probably didn't expect Xiao Chun to mention her. Chapter 40. Of course it's true. How could it be false? Jing Yu smiled and looked at Violet Spirit. Seeing Princess Xiling today, it is indeed true. The 9th emperors also said that Jing Yu and Princess Xiling should get along well at the school. Hearing this, Violet Spirit paused in surprise. She walked toward Jing Yu, as if she wanted to have a good chat with Jing Yu. Jing Yin, who was behind Violet Spirit, was stunned by this turn of events. She didn't come back to her senses for a while. Shouldn't Princess Xiling be looking for trouble with Jing Yu? How come she was sitting at the same table as Jing Yu in the blink of an eye? Princess Xiling. Jing Yan's expression was a bit ugly. Seeing Princess Xiling sit down, she bit her lip and called out. Oh. Xiling was talking to Jing Yu when she suddenly heard Jing Yan's voice from behind her. She turned her head in confusion, and when she saw Jing Yan's dry smile, she paused for a moment before she seemed to have thought of something. She pulled Jing Yan over and said, This is the young lady of the Prime Minister's residence, Jing Yan. Miss Jing Yan, we have met before. Jingyu looked at Jing Yan, who didn't have a good expression, and raised her eyebrows. Yes. Jing Yan's heart skipped a beat. She then revealed a friendly smile and nodded at Jingyu. Speaking of which, we are really fated. The royal concubine's surname is also Jing. What is your name? Miss Jing Yan, please don't mind me. I just casually used a name. I didn't expect it to be so coincidental. Jingyu laughed out loud. Her complacent look didn't make anyone notice anything strange. Now that you mention it, I remember that you two have the same surname. Violet's spirit blinked and looked at Jingyu and then at Jing Yan. People who don't know would think that you two are sisters. It really is fate. Princess Xiling, you must be joking. I grew up without parents, so how could I have sisters? Jingyu looked at Jing Yan indifferently and said these words without any trace of politeness. This caused Jing Yan, who originally wanted to use these words to strike up a conversation with Jingyu, to stiffen slightly. Today's study was nothing more than standing. Jingyu was in the limelight. Not only did she steal Jing Yan's limelight, but she was also on good terms with Princess Xiling. The two sat opposite each other. No one knew what they said, but Princess Xiling was elated. After saying that, Violet's spirit left happily, leaving Shangguan Linglan and Ning Xiangyu dumbfounded. They thought that Princess Violet's spirit was here to cause trouble, but who would have thought that the result would be the same? Jingyu. Xiling. Did the Ninth Emperors really say that Princess Xiling is that good? Shangguan Linglan watched Princess Xiling leave with a face full of smiles. He turned his head and asked Jingyu in a daze. Of course, it's all fake. Jingyu impolitely rolled her eyes. The speed at which she changed her expression and the words she spat out made the two people's eyes widen even more. What? Shangguan Linglan almost screamed out loud. He quickly lowered his voice and looked at Jingyu. How can you say that it's all fake so confidently? Aren't you afraid that Princess Xiling will find out the truth? You'll have to face the consequences. I'm too lazy to confront her directly. Xiaoqun told me not to cause trouble for him. Jingyu raised her eyebrows indifferently and said, if she really doesn't know what's good for her and comes up to me to beat her up, I don't mind doing it. Isn't it just because she has the support of the eldest princess? Chapter 41. You. Shangguan Linglan looked at Jingyu in astonishment. This was the first time he felt his heart crumble. Everyone said that Shangguan Linglan was arrogant, but look, the real arrogant person was here. When the class ended, it was already evening. Everyone left. Just as they reached the entrance, they saw the Ninth Emperor's pitch-black carriage parked at the entrance. Everyone was astonished. The Ninth Emperors actually came personally to pick up Jingyu. Jingyu followed Shangguan Linglan out. Before she reached the entrance, she heard the cries of surprise. Her brows twitched as a strange feeling flashed through her heart. Please don't drive that pitch-black carriage to pick her up. It's really ugly. It's like a moving piece of charcoal, Jingyu muttered in her heart as she stepped out of the door. She was stunned to see Xiaoqian standing beside the charcoal. Oh, no, standing beside the carriage. She rolled her eyes. How much does this man like the color black? It's fine if you wear black clothes, but you even drive a carriage in black. Xiaoqian, I have to say something. Jingyu stood beside Xiaoqian and looked up at Xiaoqian with a serious expression. Xiaoqian's expression was cold. The way he narrowed his eyes at Jingyu was as if he was looking at someone else. There wasn't a trace of warmth in his eyes. The next time you drive that carriage here, I'll burn it down. Jingyu gritted her teeth as she glared at the pitch-black carriage in front of her and said fiercely, Go ahead and burn it. Xiaoqian indifferently glanced at Jingyu and stepped onto the carriage. His voice was faint as he said, This carriage is made of black iron. It's impervious to fire and water. What? Jingyu was stunned as she stared at the black iron carriage in front of her. She wanted to cry but had no tears. Wasn't it just a shabby carriage? Was there a need to make such a big scene? Don't get on. This king is leaving. Xiaoqian's cold words were heard. Jingyu immediately scrambled onto the carriage. Not to mention how far it was to walk back to the prince's mansion, Jingyu really didn't know the way. Thus, she obediently sat in the carriage. Why don't you ask what happened today? Jingyu blinked as she looked at Xiaoqian. She had used Xiao Qin's name to do bad things. It's probably counted as bad things. Ask what? Xiao opened his eyes and calmly looked at Jingyu. And asked you, how did you steal the limelight today? Did you beat everyone? Or, using this king's name? Ahem. I wasn't spouting nonsense. Jingyu choked on Xiao Qin's words and coughed. She said seriously, I was speaking the truth. However, it's a truth that will never be realized. Xiao Qin narrowed his eyes and looked at Jingyu's serious expression. The corners of his lips moved slightly and he closed his eyes, ignoring her. Hey, you can't ignore me like this. Get up and let's talk about the carriage. Jingyu looked at Xiao Qin, who had closed his eyes again and was instantly unhappy. Was this guy really that sleepy? Why was he always sleeping? Such a dark and swarthy carriage. What were you thinking to bring it onto the streets? Jingyu complained. It's really ugly, don't you think? Jingyu continued. Also, get out. Xiao Qin suddenly opened his eyes and stared coldly at Jingyu. There was a cold aura mixed with a biting pressure. Jingyu's words were immediately blocked. Chapter 42. You. Jingyu was slightly angered. She opened her mouth to speak, but Xiao Qin suddenly grabbed her by the collar and threw her out of the carriage without any pity. Xing Yi and Xing Er stared at Jingyu, who had fallen to the ground, dumbfounded. They didn't dare to say a word. Let's go. Xiao Qin's low and icy voice sounded from within the carriage. Xing Yi trembled and hurriedly urged his horse to leave. Only Jingyu, who had fallen to the ground, was left on the bustling street. The surrounding people immediately started pointing and gossiping. Who was thrown out by the 9th emperors? Could it be another shameless girl who wants to seduce the 9th emperors? I think so. Girls nowadays are all like this. A toad lusting after a swan. She actually wants to seduce the 9th emperors. That's right, that's right. Jingyu's face instantly flushed red when she heard the gossips. That damned Xiao Qin. Shut up. Jingyu was even angrier when she heard the gossips. She was still fuming after being thrown out of the carriage for no apparent reason. Look, she's even angry from embarrassment. The gossips instantly grew louder. Isn't this Jingyu? Just as Jingyu clenched her fists to suppress the anger in her heart, another gentle and clear voice sounded. Jingyu turned to look and saw Jing Yin, who was walking over with a servant girl. Her eyes were filled with mockery. Why are you here? Jing Yin glanced at Jingyu from the corner of her eyes and said, Were you the one they said was thrown out of the carriage by the 9th emperors? What does that have to do with you? Jingyu snorted coldly as she spoke. They even said that the 9th emperors treated you so well. It seems like it was just a momentary interest. He threw you away after he got tired of playing with you. Jing Yin covered her mouth and smiled. Her slender and elegant appearance immediately made the surrounding people exclaim in amazement. Huh. It's better than someone who can't even sit in the 9th emperor's carriage. Jingyu crossed her arms and looked at Jing Yin from the corner of her eyes. You. Jing Yin's expression turned angry, but she quickly suppressed it. She smiled and looked at Jingyu and said, I don't know what Princess Xiling will think when I tell her what happened today. Everything you said today was just to tease her. Up to you. Jingyu rolled her eyes. She couldn't be bothered with Jing Yin and turned to leave. Jingyu, you will regret this. Jing Yin shouted angrily when she saw Jingyu ignoring her. Is there something wrong with this woman's brain? Jingyu sneered and walked forward. Looking at the unfamiliar and bustling street, the anger in her heart slowly leaked out. Then, she suppressed it bit by bit. When had she, Jingyu, ever been wronged like this? Xiao Qin, you better remember this. Isn't this the 9th imperial concubine? Just as Jingyu was trying to recognize the road, she suddenly heard a cry of surprise. Immediately, Jingyu's face darkened. Could it be that her face was really that familiar? She could be recognized just by casually walking on the road? Jingyu didn't turn around. She continued to walk forward with large strides as if she didn't hear anything. 9th imperial concubine, I'm calling out to you. The voice behind her was getting closer and closer. Jingyu continued to walk without looking back until she felt a hand on Jingyu's shoulder. Immediately, Jingyu became angry. She grabbed the hand and twisted it. Suddenly, A scream of pain sounded. Ah! Ow ow ow! Jingyu angrily stared at the man with a twisted face in front of her. She angrily scolded, Fang Zicheng, are you a pig? Can't you see that I'm ignoring you? What are you doing here? Chapter 43. Let go of my hand first. Fang Zicheng's body stiffened, and he didn't dare to move an inch. He was afraid that Jingyu would twist his hand again and break it. Jingyu glared at Fang Zicheng and finally let go of his hand after pushing him away. She glared at this man with a look of disgust. Huff, huff, huff. It hurts so much. You hit me too hard. Fang Zicheng looked at his wrist that was slightly swollen because of Jing Yu's strength and suddenly looked like he was about to cry. You asked for it. Jing Yu curled her lips indifferently. Looking at Fang Zicheng's appearance, she suddenly frowned and said, Can't you act like a man? Isn't it just a little swollen? Let me try twisting it. Fang Zicheng's face darkened. He was actually being despised like a woman? I'm not stupid. Why would I let you twist it? Jingyu rolled her eyes and turned around to leave. Fang Zicheng hurriedly followed her. While rubbing his wrist, he looked sideways at Jingyu and said, Why are you here? I didn't see you bring any guards with you. Of all people, he touched a sore spot. What does it have to do with you? Miss, it's my pleasure. Jingyu continued to walk aimlessly. Where are you going? The prince's mansion is over there. Fang Zicheng watched as Jingyu walked further and further away. If she continued walking like this, she would reach the city gate. Why didn't you say so earlier? Jingyu suddenly turned around and fiercely glared at Fang Zicheng. So you're going back to the prince's mansion. Fang Zicheng's face suddenly revealed a smile, as if he finally knew what she was going to do. Jingyu suddenly stopped and looked at Fang Zicheng from head to toe. Her stare made Fang Zicheng's hair stand on end, and he quietly took a step back. He completely didn't know what Jingyu wanted to do. Did you bring money? Jingyu asked and immediately felt embarrassed. Fang Zicheng was stunned. Before he could understand what Jingyu meant, he saw Jingyu touching him all over. She said, You must have brought something. I'm starving. Give me money. I want to eat. Fang Zicheng trembled from Jingyu's touch. He hurriedly stopped Jingyu from continuing to touch him. He jumped away with a red face and said, I'll give it to you. Hurry up. Don't dilly-dally. Jingyu glared at Fang Zicheng, as if she would strip him naked if he didn't take it out. When Jingyu and Fang Zicheng sat in the restaurant, Fang Zicheng finally understood what she meant when she said that they were about to starve to death. Everyone in the restaurant was staring at their table, which made Fang Zicheng want to find a hole to hide in. Fang Zicheng swore to the heavens that he had never been looked at like this in his entire life. Are you full? Fang Zicheng braced himself and looked at the many empty bowls across from him. The girl was drinking and eating without a care for her image. Her bold and unrestrained actions didn't make her look like a woman at all. Burp. I'm full. Jingyu elegantly sucked her greasy fingers clean and picked up a handkerchief to wipe her mouth. She looked at Fang Zicheng with a satisfied expression and said, Your appetite is really good. The corner of Fang Zicheng's mouth faintly twitched. He looked at the messy table in front of him and decisively called the waiter over to bring them another table. He sat down again and looked at Jingyu's narrowed eyes as she chewed on a toothpick and picked her teeth. The way she crossed her legs and the way she picked her teeth simply didn't match her beautiful face at all. Chapter 44. Seeing Jingyu pick her teeth with a toothpick in her mouth, the way she crossed her legs and the way she picked her teeth, it didn't match her beautiful face at all. Did the ninth emperors not treat you well? Fang Zicheng couldn't help but ask. Don't mention him to me. Jingyu suddenly slammed the table, scaring Fang Zicheng. What's wrong? Fang Zicheng blinked and asked. Jingyu didn't answer, but looked Fang Zicheng up and down and said, I couldn't tell that you were quite loyal. Seeing that you treated me to such a meal, I will be gentler to you in the future. As she spoke, Jingyu's gaze landed on Fang Zicheng's wrist. Should I thank you? The corner of Fang Zicheng's mouth froze as he looked at Jingyu and said, You're welcome. It's what I should do. Take me back to the Wangfu while you're at it. Jingyu's eyebrows curved as she looked at Fang Zicheng with a smile. Her bright eyes were filled with craftiness, and her curved eyebrows and smiling face were extremely moving. Her pink cheeks were right in front of Fang Ziqing's face. Fang Ziqing was slightly stunned, and a strange look flashed through his eyes. He swallowed and said, "Okay, that's great. Let's go." Jingyu grabbed Fang Ziqing's hand and pulled him out. Her small hand held Fang Ziqing's wrist softly. Fang Ziqing just let her pull him like a fool. The corners of his mouth were slightly pursed, and he didn't even notice that his smile had curved up. When they arrived at the Wangfu, Jingyu skipped inside. Just as she was about to step into the Wangfu, she suddenly turned around and looked at Fang Ziqing, who was standing at the bottom of the stairs, and said, "Thank you for today. I owe you a favor." After she finished speaking, she ignored Fang Ziqing's reaction and waved her hand to enter the manor with a smile. Fang Ziqing was slightly stunned. He stood at the door with mixed feelings. Was she drawing a clear line with him? Jingyu leisurely walked into the residence. She rubbed her round belly with a satisfied expression and hummed a little song. She was in an exceptionally good mood. Just as she entered the lotus garden, she saw Yin Xiao sitting at the entrance. When she raised her head and saw that Jingyu had returned, she was so excited that she couldn't stop talking. "Imperial concubine, where did you go? Why are you back so late? You scared me to death. I thought you—" All right, I'm back now." Jingyu rolled her eyes and stopped Yin Xiao from continuing. She clapped her hands and said, "Prepare some hot water. I want to take a bath."
Yes.
Although Yin Xiao had a stomach full of questions, she still obediently agreed. "Go, guard the door. If Xiaochen comes, stop him." Jingyu was just about to enter the room to take a bath when she suddenly stopped in her tracks. She turned her head and instructed Yin Xiao very solemnly, "Now, immediately, go and close the door to the lotus garden." "Yes." Yin Xiao stared blankly at Jingyu, who had turned around and walked into the room. She then replied weakly. She couldn't help but mutter in her heart, "Did the imperial concubine and the 9th emperor's quarrel?" After Jingyu finished giving her instructions, she went to take a bath in satisfaction. After taking a bath, she then lay back on the bed. She sighed comfortably and rolled around on the bed. However, she didn't feel sleepy at all. She could only stand up and walk to the bookshelf at the side. What kind of books are there? Could there be some unspeakable reading material? Thinking of this, Jingyu's eyes suddenly lit up. She ran very carefully and looked for it bit by bit. Chapter 45. Supernatural Records? What book is this? Jingyu didn't manage to find the book she wanted, but she did find a storybook instead. To be more precise, it was a supernatural storybook. Jingyu hugged the book and laid down flat, reading it with great interest. The words in the book were extremely vivid, and Jingyu was mesmerized for a moment. She flipped over and continued reading while facing the inside of the book. Coincidentally, she saw the contents of the book. "Someone is behind you." Jingyu's body trembled. She turned around abruptly and saw the black figure standing behind her. "Ah!" Jingyu swore to the heavens that she was really frightened. The earth-shattering scream that resounded throughout the entire residence caused Yin Xiao to run in a panic. She looked at the scene in front of her with a face full of astonishment. The 9th Emperor was standing beside the bed, and Jingyu was sitting on the bed, hugging her head as she let out earth-shattering screams. What happened? Yin Xiao was completely stunned. The 9th Emperor had just walked in, and she didn't see him do anything at all. "You scared me to death." Jingyu almost cried out. She looked at Xiao Qian in front of her and gnashed her teeth in hatred. "Yin Xiao, did you ignore my words?" Jingyu glared at Yin Xiao and said angrily, "This servant." Yin Xiao lowered her head, feeling wronged. How would she dare to stop the 9th Emperor? Did she not want to live anymore? "Leave." Xiao Chun said to Yin Xiao indifferently. Instantly, Yin Xiao hurriedly ran out, completely ignoring her mistress's completely darkened face. "What are you doing here?" Jingyu's little heart was still thumping. It was obvious that she was quite frightened. She glared at Xiao Chun and asked. Xiao Chun looked at Jingyu indifferently, then shifted his gaze to the book that Jingyu threw beside the bed. With one glance, he knew why Jingyu was so frightened just now. He narrowed his eyes and said, Fang Ziqing sent you back today? So what if I did? Jingyu blinked and looked at Xiao Chun. She turned her head and held the book in her hands. When she heard Xiao Qin's confident tone, she couldn't detect any emotions. Xiao Qin didn't reply. He walked over and seemed to want to sit beside the bed. Jingyu didn't have it. Since when did you have the right to speak in the prince's residence? Xiao Chun narrowed his eyes and reached out to grab Jingyu's smooth ankle. He lifted it and pushed it back, instantly pressing down on the seated Jingyu. Xiao Chun supported himself with his arms and looked at the stunned Jingyu. Xiao Chun. A trace of anger flashed across Jingyu's face. The anger that she had suffered during the day suddenly came out. This was the feeling of living under someone else's roof. How is it? Xiao Chun narrowed his eyes and admired Jingyu's constantly changing expression. A trace of a smile flashed across his heart. Get lost. Jingyu looked at Xiao Qin's calm and composed appearance. She lifted her leg and kicked Xiao Qin's chest. Caught off guard, Xiao Qin's huge body almost fell to the ground. Xiao Chun took a few steps back before he stabilized himself. Ha 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 ha. Jingyu looked at Xiao Qin's sorry figure and immediately laughed out loud. She looked at Xiao Chun provocatively. She wanted to see if he would dare to bully her again. Very good. Xiao Chun looked at Jingyu with a dark expression and coldly spat out these two words. He then continued to walk towards Jingyu. Jingyu immediately panicked and hid inside. She swallowed her saliva and looked at Xiao Chun. You threw me out of the carriage today. I only kicked you once. Chapter 46. Xiao Chun slowly opened his eyes. Jingyu could clearly see the faint tiredness in Xiao Chun's eyes. That pair of cold eyes stared straight at her, and the faint ripples in his eyes seemed to be mixed with a sense of silence and serenity. Jingyu immediately held her breath. Xiao Chun quietly looked at Jingyu for a long while. Finally, he slowly bent down and gently covered Jingyu's small face with his cool lips. His faint breath blew on Jingyu's face. Instantly, Jingyu's eyes widened, and her body stiffened even more. Sleep. Xiao Chun raised his hand and pressed Jingyu's head. With a wave of his hand, he extinguished the candle light. Jingyu was in Xiao Chun's embrace. She could clearly hear Xiao Chun's heartbeat and breathing, as well as the faint masculine aura emanating from his body. In the cool night, the two people sleeping in each other's arms emitted a strange sense of harmony. Jingyu lowered her head, but her eyes were still open in the dark. Her heartbeat inexplicably sped up. Her mind was still thinking about that light kiss just now, and her cheeks instantly turned even redder. What did that kiss mean? What was with Xiao Qin's gaze just now? Jingyu suddenly realized that she couldn't understand the man lying beside her at all. After letting her imagination run wild for a long time, Jingyu slowly fell asleep. When she woke up, it was already dawn. When she opened her eyes, she saw that Xiao Chun was putting on his robe. When he heard the sound of Jingyu waking up, he slightly turned his head to look at her. Xingyi will send you to school. I have something to do today, so I'll be back late. Xiao Chun straightened his collar and turned to look at Jingyu indifferently. Without waiting for Jingyu to react, he strode away. When Xiao Chun's figure disappeared, Jingyu blankly came back to her senses. A strange feeling flashed through her heart. In just one night, the Xiao Chun from last night had become like this in the blink of an eye. When Jingyu arrived at the school, it was already bustling with noise and excitement. The moment Jingyu stepped into the school, she discovered something strange. Not a single person came to talk to her. They all stood to the side and pointed at her. It's her. The Ninth Emperors threw her out of the carriage yesterday. Does she really think she's a future imperial concubine? Who knows when the Ninth Emperors will throw her away? Isn't that so? She even dared to pretend to be an imperial concubine and deceive Princess Xiling. Let's see how she'll explain this to Princess Xiling later. To put it bluntly, she's just a wild girl who clings onto the Ninth Emperors. Without the support of the Ninth Emperors, she's not even fit to carry Princess Xiling's shoes. That's right. A wild girl who can't even be seen in public dares to be so arrogant. When Jingyu heard these words, her face instantly darkened. This Jingyu really exposed yesterday's incident. Not only did she expose it, but she also made it known to everyone. With a cold expression, Jingyu continued to walk forward. Stop right there. Just as Jingyu was about to enter the room, an angry shout came from behind her. Jingyu sneered and turned around. Is Princess Xiling calling for me? Jingyu turned around and smiled at Xiling, who was dressed in red. Jingyu, how dare you? How dare you play tricks on me? Xiling angrily stood in front of Jingyu and glared at her. Behind her was a crowd of onlookers. There was also a smiling Jingyu. Her eyes were lowered, so no one could see the expression in her eyes. Chapter 47. What are you talking about, Countess Xiling? I don't understand. Jingyu blinked and looked at Xiling with a confused expression. You still dare to quibble? Were you deceiving me with everything you said yesterday? Xiling angrily pointed at Jingyu and said, She's playing with Countess Xiling like a monkey. Jing Yin quietly whispered into Xiling's ear. You've got guts. You're just a candidate for the 9th Imperial Concubine, yet you dare to ride on my head. If I don't teach you a lesson, you'll truly be ignorant. Xiling raised her chin and looked at Jingyu coldly. Guards. Slap her. Yes. The servant girl following behind Xiling arrogantly walked in front of Jingyu. Looking at Jingyu's smiling face, she suddenly felt a burst of anger in her heart. Who wouldn't be scared witless after being reprimanded? Jingyu was actually so arrogant. You shameless wench. The servant girl was furious. She had been by Xiling's side for a long time, and no one had ever dared to do anything to her. Seeing Jingyu's small face, she raised her hand and was about to slap her. Slap. It was true that the slap landed, but the person who did it turned around. Jingyu raised her eyebrows and looked at the maidservant, saying, You're really thick-skinned. You even hurt my hand. Does it feel good to be slapped? You. The servant girl pointed at Jingyu. She probably didn't think that Jingyu would dare to slap her in front of Xiling. Oh, sorry. Jingyu very politely bowed and said, I forgot. As the saying goes, before you hit a dog, you have to look at its master. Sorry for not paying attention to your master. Jingyu, how dare you call me a dog? Xiling's face turned red. Without thinking, she pushed the servant girl away and raised her hand to slap Jingyu's face. Crack. Jingyu forcefully turned Violet Spirit's hand away and stared coldly at Violet Spirit. Do you think I'll stand here like an idiot and let you hit me? I didn't want to be calculative with you. But since you've delivered yourself to my doorstep, why should I be polite? Jingyu, what are you doing? How dare you attack the princess? Do you want to die? Jing Yin was scared out of her wits. She hurriedly cried out when she saw Violet Spirit's face filled with pain and unable to move. Shut up. Jingyu looked at Jing Yin coldly. Jing Yin couldn't help but take a step back from her sharp gaze. Princess Xiling, you're really stupid. You think you're so powerful after being used as a tool? Jing Yin only said a few words and you believed her? In the end, you're the one who's going to suffer. Jing Yin just casually made an excuse and it's all over. I really don't know how your brain works. You. What do you mean? Violet Spirit's heart was slightly shocked. She looked at Jingyu uncertainly and asked, What else could it be? It's normal for two people to argue. How do you know that I'm not just playing around with the 9th Emperors? Jingyu looked at Violet Spirit as if she were looking at an idiot. She slowly let go of her hand and coldly said, You're a princess, but you're being played around with by a little official's daughter. Nonsense. You're clearly quibbling. Jingyu's words made Jing Yin extremely frightened. She angrily pointed at Jingyu and said, If you say I'm quibbling, then I'm quibbling. After all, I'm not eldest Miss Jing Yin. I don't have such good relations with people. Anything I say will be called quibbling. Jingyu coldly snorted and turned to leave. Chapter 48. Jing Yin, is what she said true? Violet Spirit turned her head and looked coldly at Jing Yin. When she saw the panic in Jingyu's eyes, she suddenly felt that Jingyu's words made sense. Her face immediately darkened. Princess, don't listen to her nonsense. She's trying to sow discord between us, Jing Yin said to Violet Spirit with a fawning smile. I think you're the one who's talking nonsense. Violet Spirit's face suddenly became angry. She felt the pain from her wrist and gritted her teeth as she looked at Jing Yin. She raised her hand and slapped Jing Yan's little face. She cursed, "Bitch, how dare you use me as a tool?" Uh? Jing Yan covered her face in disbelief as she stared at Purple Spirit with wide eyes. She had been friends with Purple Spirit for so long and had never thought that it would be completely ruined by just a few words from Jingyu. Purple Spirit had even hit her. "Let's go." Violet Spirit turned and left. Her wrist was slightly swollen, and anger flashed through her heart. "Jingyu, how dare you hurt me? I definitely won't let you off." Jing Yan stood there in a daze and watched Princess Violet Spirit and the others leave. She slowly lowered her head as everyone pointed at her and whispered. She had never been treated like this before. This was all thanks to Jingyu. Jing Yan's lowered eyes were filled with resentment. She clenched her fists and slowly turned to leave with her head lowered. For 3 days in a row, Jing Yan and Violet Spirit didn't come to class. They said that they had caught a cold and would come back when they were better. Jingyu had lived a carefree life during these 3 days. Of course, the premise was that they ignored the disgusting etiquette. "Straighten your back and raise your arms." "Jingyu, where are your eyes looking?" Jingyu was stiffly holding a teapot. "Wasn't it just pouring water? Where did all these stupid rules come from? Don't spill a single drop of water. Whoever dares to spill it will have to drink all the water in the plate." Mother Yun, who was sitting on the high seat, was drinking a cup of tea. She looked at the people below who couldn't hold the teacup steadily, shook her head and said, "Should I drink all the water and not pour it out?" Jingyu thought of something and asked Mother Yun with her eyes lit up. "What?" Mother Yun was slightly stunned and looked at Jingyu in confusion. However, when she saw Jingyu's action, she suddenly coughed. "Cough, cough, cough. What are you doing?" Mother Yun stared at Jingyu, who was lying on the plate, and asked, "Didn't Nanny tell me to drink all the water spilled on the plate? I accidentally poured all the water out, so I'm trying my best to drink it up," Jingyu said seriously as she slowly drank the water on the plate. "Lon Lon, how much longer until it ends?" Under the scorching sun, Jingyu stared at a plate and stood straight in the courtyard, looking like she was about to cry. "About 2 hours. Hang in there." On the other side, Shangguan Linglan and Ning Shangyuan were sitting on chairs with a small umbrella to block the sun. There were various kinds of snacks beside their hands, and they were eating and drinking slowly with tea. Jingyu squinted at them eating and swallowed hard. Suddenly, the plate above her head began to sway unsteadily. Jingyu hurriedly stiffened her body and steadied the plate. She was about to cry. "Let me eat something while Mother Yun is not here. I'm starving." Jingyu looked at Shangguan Linglan and said. Chapter 49. "No. Do you want to continue standing for 4 more hours?" Shangguan Linglan rolled his eyes and threw a fruit into his mouth. He looked at Jingyu and said, "I really don't know what's in your head. You poured all the water into the plate to drink. No wonder Mother Yun punished you." "Woo-woo. I know I was wrong. If I had known, I wouldn't have poured it into the plate. I would have drunk it directly. That way, I wouldn't have to hold this broken plate." "Puff. You'd better continue standing." Shangguan Linglan turned his face and looked like he didn't want to talk to Jingyu. "Ha ha ha. Yeah, you're so cute." Ning Shangyuan smiled happily. After getting along with each other for a few days, the 3 of them had become a small group and formed a rare friendship. Jingyu was speechless. It was the first time in her life that someone said she was cute. When Jingyu dragged her tired body out of the gate of the school, she suddenly found that the whole gate was empty, only leaving the fallen leaves on the ground floating in the wind. "Damn, who can tell me where the carriage is? Has it been eaten?" Jingyu looked around and was absolutely sure that the carriage had really disappeared. Only Jingyu was left in the whole gate of the school. Suddenly, Jingyu wanted to cry but had no tears. There were no horses around, and she didn't have any money. At this moment, Jingyu felt a deep resentment. She swore to God that the next time she went out, she would definitely bring money. There were a few people on the street. Because she was punished to stand for some time, it was late and the street was getting dark. Jingyu lowered her head and dragged her tired body forward step by step, looking at the street in front of her in confusion. Is it this way? Or this way? Jingyu turned in a circle and was completely dumbfounded. I don't know the way. Jingyu squatted on the ground and wanted to cry but had no tears. She rested for a while and was about to randomly choose a direction to walk in. Unexpectedly, the moment she stood up, she suddenly felt a cold, murderous intent coming toward her. Jingyu's face turned cold and rolled on the ground to avoid the murderous intent. She looked at the dart nailed to the cement ground and raised her hand to look. A black shadow with a machete in his hand chopped toward Jingyu without saying a word. Jingyu was shocked and quickly stepped back. She grabbed a bamboo pole and raised it to block. "Who are you?" Jingyu was forced to step back and was shocked. What a cold, murderous aura. Only an assassin would have such a technique. Who did she offend? Damn. The bamboo pole in Jingyu's hand had been chopped until only a small section was left. She had no choice but to kick the man in black a few steps back. She turned around and ran. After a few turns, she entered a small alley. But the man behind her was still chasing her. "Fuck your grandpa." Jingyu turned around and found that the man in black had actually jumped into the room. His nimble movements made Jingyu twitch her mouth. So what if he knew Qinggong? As Jingyu ran, she found a half-open door. Without thinking, she bent over and squeezed in. She quickly closed the door and held her breath. She peeked through the crack of the door to see what was going on outside. The man in black rushed over, but Jingyu still didn't dare to move. Years of experience told her that if she moved now, she would be courting death. Sure enough, the man in black came back again. He looked around but couldn't find Jingyu. In the end, he stopped in front of the courtyard door. His eyes were filled with killing intent as he stared at the door. Jingyu was so nervous that her heart almost jumped out of her chest. Chapter 50. She held her breath tightly, not letting any of her aura leak out. The strange thing was that the man in black clearly knew that Jingyu was inside, but he only stood at the door for a while before flying away, leaving behind a dumbfounded Jingyu. Was he trying to lure the snake out of its hole? I'm not that stupid. Jingyu saw that there was no one outside, but she didn't go out. Instead, she turned around to look at the courtyard that was full of weeds. There was only one path that had been trampled out. Jingyu blinked and followed the path slowly into the courtyard. Only then did she realize that the courtyard was quite big. If she walked any further, she would reach the bamboo forest. Jingyu paused and looked at the dilapidated house in confusion. Was there really someone living here? Just as Jingyu was puzzled, she suddenly heard a strange sound coming from within the bamboo forest. Jingyu's heart trembled slightly. She carefully walked towards the bamboo forest. There seemed to be something in the dense bamboo forest. Jingyu held her breath and walked closer. Finally, she saw a large circle surrounded by a thin veil. Jingyu frowned slightly and raised her hand to lift the veil. The moment she lifted the veil, she was stunned by the scene in front of her. In the dark green pool, a man with a head full of white hair was leaning against the side of the pool with his back facing her. A cold wind blew against her face. The man with his back facing her seemed to be suppressing some great pain as he let out an unbearable groan. Jingyu stared blankly at the man's back. Her feet moved slightly, as if she wanted to retreat. She didn't expect that when she took a step, she would accidentally step on a bamboo leaf. The sound of movement was very soft, but it suddenly woke the man soaking in the water. "Who is it?" When the voice sounded, a water arrow shot out. Jingyu's heart trembled, and she quickly dodged to the side. She pulled down the veil to block the water arrow and ran away without hesitation. When she turned back, she saw the side of the white-haired man's face. Half of his face was covered with black veins, as if all the veins on his face had bulged and turned black. His pair of cold eyes only had a tiny bit of black irises, and the rest were the whites of his eyes. That appearance was as frightening as it could be. Jingyu ran out in a panic, not caring if there was an assassin waiting outside. Her mind was filled with the side profile of the white-haired man, as if he was a monster. "Master." A ghostly figure in black landed by the side of the bamboo forest and lowered her head to look at the white-haired man with his back facing her. "It's her." The man's voice was slightly hoarse as he asked. "Yes." Jingyu didn't know why she was running. She only had one thought in her mind. Run? Jingyu ran until she couldn't run anymore. She leaned against the wall and panted heavily. Her heart was still beating violently, and her forehead was covered in sweat. After confirming that no one was chasing her, she sat down on the ground and didn't move. Jingyu. Just as Jingyu was about to relax, she was suddenly startled by a voice. She looked up and saw Fang Zicheng's surprised eyes. She immediately let out a sigh of relief. "It's you." Jingyu continued to sit on the ground and raised her hand to wipe the sweat on her forehead. She calmly responded as a greeting. "It's really you?" Fang Zicheng was stunned. He walked in front of Jingyu and squatted down. "Why are you squatting in front of my door? Are you looking for me?" Chapter 51. You're home? Jingyu looked up in confusion. Only then did she see the wall in front of her. Indeed, it was a courtyard with high walls. On the horizontal board, there were a few words written in flamboyant calligraphy. Grand Secretary's Mansion. It's really your home. Jingyu lowered her head helplessly. She couldn't find her own home, so she actually ran to someone else's house. Yes. Fang Zicheng smiled faintly and looked at Jingyu. He blinked and said, "Do you want to come in and have a seat?" "Forget about it. You should treat me to a meal first." "I'm starving," Jingyu said as she tugged at Fang Zicheng's sleeve. She looked at Fang Zicheng with an aggrieved expression. Fang Zicheng's heart skipped a beat, and he agreed repeatedly. When the two of them sat in the restaurant, Fang Zicheng started to wonder if Xiao Qian was really harsh on Jingyu. "What a good person," Jingyu said with a sigh as she rubbed her round belly in satisfaction and looked at Fang Zicheng, who was smiling gently across her. "It's rare for you to praise me like this." Fang Zicheng's smile became even more gentle. "Ahem. Don't smile anymore. You're giving me goosebumps." Jingyu's mouth twitched slightly. She looked at Fang Zicheng's face, which was still hanging on it, and suddenly felt a little embarrassed. She really didn't know how his face was made. Did he really not feel uncomfortable when he smiled? Huh. Fang Zicheng blinked slightly. This was the first time someone had disliked the smile he was so proud of. "I have to go back. If I don't go back, I don't know how my servant girl will cry." Jingyu stood up and patted Fang Zicheng's shoulder magnanimously. She said, "Send me back." As usual, Fang Zicheng sent Jingyu to the gate of the Wang Fu. Seeing the figure of Jingyu running in happily, a smile flashed through his eyes. It was no longer the fake smile that did not reach his eyes, but a sincere smile that came from the bottom of his heart. "Young master, don't tell me you're really interested in the 9th Imperial concubine?" The manservant driving the carriage was slightly shocked when he saw the smile on his young master's face. "Don't you think she's interesting?" Fang Zicheng lay on his back in the carriage and waved his hand to lower the curtain. He closed his eyes slightly and played with the thumb ring in his hand. With a faint smile on his face, he leisurely walked back home. Jingyu returned to the lotus garden. Sure enough, after listening to Yin Xiao's tearful complaints, she finally lay down on her soft bed. Instantly, she felt a wave of comfort in her body and mind. It wasn't easy. He almost died 3 times. Another killer, another monster. Oh, in the end, she almost starved to death on the streets. As Jingyu lay on the bed, the image of that white-haired man unconsciously surfaced in her mind. She tossed and turned, unable to fall asleep. Who exactly was that man? While she was thinking, Jingyu, with a stomach full of questions, finally couldn't hold back her sleepiness and slowly fell asleep. In her daze, she seemed to feel someone tugging at her blanket. Jingyu angrily kicked her leg and rolled over to continue sleeping, completely ignoring what she had kicked. Xiao Qin's face darkened as he looked at the woman who had turned over to sleep. She was only wearing a simple inner garment and was hugging the blanket tightly. The skin on her exposed shoulders was not covered at all. Xiao Qin wanted to pull the blanket over Jingyu, but she actually kicked him. Damned woman. She's still so restless even in her sleep. Xiao Qin suppressed the anger in his heart and lifted his hand to remove his outer garment. He looked at Jingyu, who was still sleeping, and sighed softly. He carefully pulled the blanket over her and put down the mattress. Only then did he heave a sigh of relief. Chapter 52. When she woke up early in the morning, Jingyu felt something pressing against her chest. She wanted to open her eyes, but she couldn't. She was in a daze for a long time before she finally opened her eyes. She lowered her head slightly and saw the thing on her chest. It was an arm. Jingyu was slightly stunned. She followed the arm and saw Xiao Qin's handsome face. It was so handsome that it could make people fall into a state of infatuation. Looking at that face without any traces of Photoshop, that chin, that nose, those eyelashes, and that mouth, it was simply handsome to a certain extent. Jingyu looked at Xiao Qin, who was still sleeping soundly. Her heart was slightly moved. She carefully raised her hand and slowly approached Xiao Qin's face. She really wanted to know if his skin was real or fake. Was there such a thing as plastic surgery in ancient times? Jingyu touched Xiao Qin's face as she wished. She gently poked and found that Xiao Qin still didn't move. She immediately became bolder. Just as she was about to continue, she suddenly heard a cold voice above her head. Have you touched enough? Jingyu screamed and rolled inside. She held her face and looked in horror at Xiao Qin, who was staring at her with a pair of cold eyes. When did you wake up? Jingyu's little heart was beating fast and her face was burning. When you weren't awake yet. Xiao Qin propped himself up and squinted at Jingyu's evasive gaze. His eyes flashed with a faint smile. Good for you. You actually pretended to be asleep and lied to me. Jingyu was slightly stunned. She then angrily glared at Xiao Qin and complained. If I didn't do this, how could I see the imperial concubine's true nature? Xiao Qin leaned closer to Jingyu. His teasing gaze made Jingyu's face burn. She made a few random squeaks and hurriedly ran off the bed to avoid Xiao Qin's approach. Xiao Qin tilted his head and looked at Jingyu running away. The corners of his mouth lifted slightly. He slightly closed his eyes and stood up. He took a robe from the side and put it on. Jingyu randomly put on her clothes and started to shout for Xiao to help. When Jingyu finished putting on her clothes, she saw Xiao Qin walk out of the room. She instantly heaved a sigh of relief. Luckily, she didn't continue to speak. It was so embarrassing. Oh right. Just as Jingyu was letting her imagination run wild, Xiao Qin suddenly stopped and turned to look at Jingyu. Why did Feng Ziqing send you back yesterday? You still dare to say that? Jingyu jumped up when she heard that. She angrily glared at Xiao Qin and said, Didn't you say there was a carriage to pick me up? Why didn't I see anything when I came out? I couldn't find my way back and was even chased by assassins. Xiao Qin's face immediately turned cold. That frosty expression made Jingyu tremble. I know. Xiao Qin indifferently threw down these 4 words and walked away, leaving behind a stunned Jingyu. The website is being cleaned. It is said that other than holding hands, there is nothing else, not even meat soup. This chapter has been changed. Please forgive me. Please continue to support me. The website is being cleaned. It is said that other than holding hands, there is nothing else, not even meat soup. This chapter has been changed. Please forgive me. Please continue to support me. The website is being cleaned. It is said that other than holding hands, there is nothing else, not even meat soup. This chapter has been changed. Please forgive me. Please continue to support me. Chapter 53. I understand, Xiao Qin said indifferently and left, leaving behind a stunned Jingyu. Therefore, her grievances were in vain. She was actually ignored so coldly. Xingyi, what's going on? Xiao Qin sat on the high seat, and the slightly downturned corners of his mouth were enough to show that he was very, very angry at the moment. Just his figure sitting there immediately made the temperature in the room drop by a few degrees. The coachman said that someone told him that the imperial concubine went back in someone else's carriage, so he drove back, Xingyi said, swallowing with difficulty. Who? The eldest daughter of the prime minister's residence, Jing Yin. Xiao Qin narrowed his eyes coldly. His slender fingers twirling the teacup were strong. The room fell into a strange silence. Xingyi tried his best to shrink his body so that he wouldn't be hurt by Xiao Qin's cold aura. Go investigate the matter of the assassin. Xiao Qin put down the teacup in his hand and stood up. He looked coldly at Xingyi and said, If there's a next time, you'll bring your head to see me? Yes. Xingyi knelt on one knee and bowed. It's over. It's over. Master is really angry this time. When Jingyu arrived at the academy today, she repeatedly reminded him to remember to take her back. Then, she covered the banknotes she got from Xiao Chun and finally walked into the academy with peace of mind. The academy was very lively today. The main reason was, of course, that Jing Yin and Countess Xiling had both returned. Their covetous gazes attracted everyone's attention to Jing Yu. Today's lesson is to teach you how to walk. Mother Yun, wearing a light purple palace dress, stood on the stone path outside the courtyard. She turned around and looked at everyone indifferently. Everyone, line up in 2 rows and follow my steps. Jing Yu stared at Mother Yun's lotus steps and the corner of her mouth twitched. So difficult. And what kind of stupid shoes were these? It was so uncomfortable to wear. Jing Yu walked unsteadily as if she would fall at any time. Behind her was an unfamiliar woman, and behind her was Jing Yin. Jing Yin walked behind her and looked at Jing Yu's unsteady appearance. She laughed coldly in her heart. She looked at the stone path and walked towards the pond. Her eyes moved slightly. While the 2 nannies weren't paying attention, she reached out and pulled the woman in front of her. The 2 nannies quickly changed positions. Jing Yu, walking in front, was completely focused on walking. Naturally, she didn't notice the movement behind her. The stone path led straight to the pond. Jing Yu swallowed her saliva and steadied her steps. Just as she was about to take the next step, Jing Yu suddenly felt a foot under her. Shocked, she hurriedly looked for a place to land. She didn't find a place to land, but she felt a hand reaching towards her. Jing Yu's eyes turned cold. Almost without hesitation, she stood on her tiptoes and turned around. Her elbow hit the person behind her directly into the pond. She pretended to be hit by someone and fell onto the stone path. Instantly, the formation was disrupted. When Jing Yu fell to the ground, she finally saw who had fallen into the pond. Ouch! Who hit me? Jing Yu's eyes turned and she suddenly cried out in pain. She held her waist and cried out in pain. Chapter 54. Someone fell into the water. There was a burst of exclamations. Mother Yun was obviously shocked. How could she fall into the water when she was walking well? Quick, who knows how to swim? Go into the water and save him. Mother Yun shouted at the panicked crowd. I don't know. I don't know. The crowd waved their hands to show that they didn't know how to swim. Just then, a woman suddenly said, Miss Shangguan, don't you know how to swim? I saw you save a child last time. I'm in the sinus, so it's not convenient for me to swim, Shangguan Linglan said sadly. Well, everyone looked helpless. The woman who spoke looked at Shangguan Linglan suspiciously. She couldn't help thinking, why did he have to come at this time of all times? The group of women were shouting on the shore. Jing Yin, on the other hand, lost her strength after struggling a few times and slowly sank into the pond. When the guards rescued her, she was already unconscious. Fortunately, she spat out the water. Jing Yu, who was watching from the side, sighed in pity. Why didn't he drown? What the hell is going on? Mother Yun glanced at the crowd coldly and asked. The crowd trembled and stepped back, not daring to speak. Mother Yun, Jing Yin, and Jing Yu fell down together. Who knows who pushed Miss Jing Yin into the pond? The woman who spoke was the one who pointed out that Shangguan Linglan could swim. Her name was Dong Si-er, and she was the daughter of the Dong family who played with Jing Yin. Miss Dong, you can eat whatever you want, but you can't say whatever you want. Jing Yu sneered and looked at Dong Si-er, saying, I was the one who was hit. What evidence do you have to prove that you were hit? Dong Si-er looked at Jing Yu and raised her chin. Let's not talk about evidence first. Let's talk about why Miss Jing Yin walked behind me for no reason. I remember that when we were lining up, you were standing behind me, and Jing Yin was standing behind you. Isn't that right? Jing Yu raised her eyebrows and pointed at a woman. I didn't notice. The woman seemed to be frightened when Jing Yu called her name. She bit her lip and trembled as she replied softly. I saw it. Shangguan Linglan stood up and said, I was standing behind Jing Yin. I saw Jing Yin pull on Miss Lu's sleeve and ask her to switch places with her. Lu Miaoqiu, is that what Shangguan Linglan said? Mother Yun looked up at Lu Miaoqiu seriously and asked, Yes. Lu Miaoqiu nervously tugged at the corner of her clothes. She felt that everyone's gaze was on her, and she was so scared that she almost burst into tears. She carelessly replied, yes, and didn't say anything else. Look, why did Miss Jing Yin switch places with Miss Lu for no reason? I was learning well, but after Miss Jing Yin switched places with Miss Lu, I was hit and fell down. Jing Yu sneered and looked at Jing Yin, who was pale and covering her mouth. Miss Dong, don't you want evidence? Jing Yu raised her hand and said, Mother Yun, you can come with me to the room and take off my clothes to see where my waist was hit. It's still hurting. Jing Yin was trembling. She didn't know if it was because of the cold or because she was angry with Jing Yu. No need. Miss Jing Yin, go back and tell your master that I can't teach you anymore. Tell him to find someone else. Mother Yun stood up and looked at Jing Yin indifferently. You don't have to come in the future. Come, send Miss Jing Yin back to the mansion. Chapter 55. Mother Yun stood up and looked at Jing Yin indifferently. You don't need to come here in the future. Come, send Miss Jing Yin back to the manor. Mother Yun, don't I? I know I was wrong. Panic flashed through Jing Yan's eyes as she hurriedly begged in a trembling voice. Let's go. Mother Yun looked at Jing Yin indifferently and turned to leave. Mother Yun didn't just teach the daughters of officials, she also taught countless palace maids and concubines. Which of the current imperial concubines and empresses hadn't been taught by Mother Yun? This reputation was enough for Mother Yun to do whatever she wanted. Moreover, Mother Yun was favored by the Empress Dowager. The news of Jing Yin being kicked out of the academy was enough to leave a stain on her reputation. Sigh. Jing Yu sat on the stone chair and sighed countless times. Shangguan Linglan finally couldn't stand it anymore. He angrily glared at Jing Yu and said, What exactly are you sighing about? Nothing. I'm just sighing about how Jing Yin is so weak. How did she get kicked out? Jing Yu raised her hand to hold a cup of tea and smacked her lips as she spoke. So you've been sighing for so long because you're unhappy that Jing Yin got kicked out? Shangguan Linglan's expression could be described as a riot of colors. Beside him, Ning Xiangyuan violently trembled and silently moved her little chair to the side. Yes, Jing Yu blinked in response. Jing Yu, come over here. Let's fight. Shangguan Linglan's expression changed unpredictably. In the end, he put on his warmest smile as he spoke to Jing Yu. Jing Yu and Ning Xiangyuan both widened their eyes at Shangguan Linglan's warm smile. Instantly, they felt a chill run down their spines. Without thinking, they turned and ran away. The two people running around the courtyard made Ning Xiangyuan laugh out loud. Ziling sat in the pavilion and listened to the flattering words of the servants beside her. Suddenly, a sense of irritation rose in her heart. She raised her head and looked at Jing Yu and the others who were playing around. A look of envy rose in her eyes. Although she was a princess, she had never felt happy before. They were both studying at the same academy, but Jing Yu acted as if she didn't care about anything and was carefree. On the other hand, she had to sit in the best seat and listen to the words of others. After so many years, she had already grown tired of it. Go and call Jing Yu over here. Violet's spirit raised her chin and ordered the girl who was smiling obsequiously. Call her over for what? The girl had been talking to Violet's spirit and hadn't heard a reply for a long time. Now that Violet's spirit had finally replied, she was told to call Jing Yu over. She was instantly stunned. If I tell you to call her over, just call her over. What's with all the nonsense? Violet's spirit raised her eyebrows and said impatiently. Yes. The girl lowered her head and walked out unwillingly. When she turned around, her expression changed instantly. If her father hadn't wanted to use the princess to help her, she wouldn't have had to compromise like this. When Jing Yu heard that Violet's spirit wanted to see her, she was slightly stunned. She looked up at the pavilion and saw Violet's spirit's unbelievably arrogant look. She rolled her eyes and looked at the girl who had come to deliver the message. She raised her eyebrows and said indifferently, If she wants to see me, let her come and see me herself. Why should I go over? It's your fortune that Princess Xiling wants to see you. How dare you ask the princess to come and see you? The girl who had brought the message raised her eyebrows. Seeing Jing Yu's indifferent look, anger rose in her heart. Chapter 56. You can slowly enjoy this good fortune. I'm not interested. Jingyu shrugged and walked back to the stone chair to sit down. She didn't care at all about the woman whose expression had changed because of her words. She grabbed the teacup and started pouring tea into her mouth. Jingyu had only just sat down when she saw Violet's spirit bring a group of people over to Jingyu. Before Jingyu could ask anything, Violet's spirit put her hands on her hips and stared at Jingyu. I called you. Why didn't you go over? Why do I have to go over just because you called me? Jingyu looked at Violet's spirit in confusion. Do I get paid if I go over? You. Violet's spirit didn't know how to respond to Jingyu's words. She thought that what Jingyu said was right, but she was a princess. She had never failed to move people. Now that she saw Jingyu like this, she didn't know what to do. Princess Violet's spirit, if you want others to respect you, can you learn to respect others first? Jingyu stood up and looked Violet's spirit in the eye. You are a princess, but you only have this title. Do you think that without this title, the people behind you will still let you do whatever you want? You. What do you mean? Violet's spirit's heart trembled as she looked at Jingyu. What I mean is what I mean. Jingyu shrugged and said, but you are a princess. This is an unchangeable fact. I was just making an example. Let's go. Time for class. When Jingyu saw that Mother Yun had returned, she turned around and left, leaving behind Purple Spirit, who was lost in thought. After class, Jingyu and Shangguan Linglan went back together. There were guests at home, so they went back first. Jingyu didn't ask them to stay. She had the coachman stop the carriage first. She and Shangguan Linglan chatted as they walked. Hey, today's weather is really good. Jingyu narrowed her eyes as she looked at the fiery red sunset in the sky. Her eyes revealed a faint smile as she admired the beautiful scenery that illuminated the streets. Her heart was filled with joy as she inexplicably thought of the days in the forest. I didn't know that you could see such beautiful skies in the imperial city. Jingyu sighed. Jingyu, where were you before? Shangguan Linglan's heart skipped a beat. He turned to look at Jingyu and asked. In the Roman forest. Jingyu replied indifferently. She blinked her eyes at Shangguan Linglan and said, you must have never seen how big the Roman forest is, or how many rare and exotic fruits there are, as well as magical animals and plants. Wow, so powerful. Shangguan Linglan's eyes lit up as he looked at Jingyu and asked, you grew up in the forest? Have you ever thought of looking for your parents? During this period of time, Jingyu and Shangguan Linglan had gotten to know each other. However, the two of them had a tacit understanding not to talk about Jingyu's parents. Today, Shangguan Linglan didn't know why, but he suddenly wanted to ask Jingyu to see her thoughts. No. Jingyu shook her head and said bluntly, I have no interest in looking for parents who would even abandon their own child. But, have you ever thought that your parents actually had something they couldn't say? Shangguan Linglan frowned in disapproval. I don't know what the so-called something they couldn't say is, but to abandon a newborn child in the forest, no matter how you look at it, such parents can't be forgiven. Or maybe my parents died long ago. Chapter 57. Jingyu shrugged and spoke as if she didn't care at all. That's not what I meant. Shangguan Linglan was slightly anxious. Even though Jingyu didn't seem to care, he couldn't help but feel sorry for her. She was abandoned in the forest as soon as she was born. He really didn't know how Jingyu managed to survive all these years. Just as Shangguan Linglan was about to speak, he suddenly heard a slight commotion from the crowd in front of them. It was a little noisy on this quiet evening street, but it wasn't very eye-catching. Jingyu and Shangguan Linglan both looked over. The crowd parted to form a path, and the sound of wheels rolling on the ground could be heard. Jingyu's eyes widened slightly as she saw a middle-aged man with a resolute face slowly rolling a wheelchair. The wooden chair moved very slowly, and an old man stood behind him, slowly pushing it. Jingyu looked at the middle-aged man sitting silently in the wheelchair and clenched her fists slightly. So it's the first elder of the Prime Minister's estate. Shangguan Linglan looked at the middle-aged man and spoke indifferently. Prime Minister's estate? Jingyu's heart tightened. She frowned and said, he's Jing Yan's father? How is that possible? Shangguan Linglan shook his head and laughed. Jing Yan's father is the daughter of Prime Minister Jing's second son. Even though she's of the direct bloodline, she's not the head of the household. What do you mean? Jingyu didn't understand and blinked her eyes as she asked. Hey, Shangguan Linglan stared at Jingyu and said, you don't even understand such simple logic. The person sitting in the wheelchair is called Jing Zhan. He's the eldest son of the prime minister and also the future head of the household. However, because of his crippled legs, he wasn't recognized by the elders of the household, so the position of the head of household was temporarily taken over by his second son. Oh, to put it bluntly, his younger brother stole his position as the head of the family, Jingyu said with a wink. That's right. Moreover, old Master Jing had an accident when he was young, which resulted in his 2 legs being crippled. His wife and child both died. Since then, old Master Jing was unable to recover from the setback. He no longer asked about the matters of the Prime Minister's manor and never remarried. He has always been alone, Shangguan Linglan said with a hint of pity in his eyes. He looked at Jing Zhan's wheelchair that was slowly being pushed over and pursed his lips. More than 10 years ago, who didn't know Jing Zhan's name? His martial arts skills were extraordinary, and he had made a lot of contributions at a young age. He had originally thought that Jing Zhan's life would be smooth sailing, and that the Prime Minister's manor might even produce a martial general. But he hadn't expected that such a shocking change would occur, and that he would become like this. So this person is Jing Yan's uncle? Jingyu blinked and asked.
Yes.
Shangguan Linglan nodded and said, although he is Jing Yan's uncle, after that accident, Jing Zhan moved out of the Prime Minister's manor. He bought a house and lives alone. He doesn't have a good relationship with his younger brother. I see. Jingyu understood and nodded. She couldn't help but sigh in her heart. As expected, there were a lot of troubles in this big manor. It's a good thing that he has a son. Otherwise, he would have been bullied by the Jing clan, Shangguan Linglan said disdainfully. Hee, that has nothing to do with us. I'm hungry. Let's go find something to eat. Jingyu looked at the wheelchair getting closer and closer. She pulled on Shangguan Linglan's arm and said, she was really hungry, especially when she smelled the fragrance of food. Chapter 58. You only know how to eat? Shangguan Linglan helplessly lowered his head and turned to leave with Jingyu. Jing Zhan, who originally had his head lowered, suddenly raised it. His gaze fell on a figure that flashed past the crowd. It was just a glance, but it made Jing Zhan's heart tremble slightly. In a trance, he seemed to have seen the figure of his deceased wife. Uncle Liu, I think I saw Yun's figure just now. Jing Zhan tightly clenched his fist and said, eldest young master, we're about to reach the Prime Minister's residence. Uncle Liu, who was pushing the wheelchair behind him, slightly trembled when he heard Jing Zhan's words. His eyes revealed a sorrowful expression. He didn't answer Jing Zhan's question. Instead, he lightly reminded him. Jing Zhan once again lowered his head. He tightly pursed his lips. Even though he knew it was fake, he couldn't help but miss her. Jing Zhan's gaze fell on his crippled leg. His eyes were filled with grief. Jingyu and Shangguan Linglan found a small stall and sat down to eat noodles. At first, Jingyu thought that Shangguan Linglan wouldn't be used to it. She didn't expect Shanghai Linglan to be a regular customer of this noodle house. Her familiarity with the boss left Jingyu dumbfounded. I thought that young ladies like you disdain to eat these things the most. Jingyu ate the noodles in her bowl in big mouthfuls. Her eyes revealed a pleasantly surprised expression. It was indeed delicious. Hee, my brother and I often go out to eat noodles. It's not that we don't have food at home. It's just that every time we sneak out, it's a very interesting feeling. Sitting at the same table with everyone, we even get to know new friends from time to time. Shangguan Linglan also ate with relish. Haha, if your words were heard by those poor people, they would definitely beat you to death. Jingyu said with a laugh. Who dares to beat me? Shangguan Linglan frowned and coldly snorted. This lady's martial arts are not for show. Jingyu laughed at her unreservedly. Their bickering made the owner of the noodle house laugh uncontrollably. After the two finished eating, they walked back together. Inexplicably, they felt much closer. Jingyu also suddenly felt a little more stable in this strange world. By the time Jingyu returned to the prince's mansion, the sky had already darkened. She quickly washed her face and rinsed her mouth and rinsed her mouth and rinsed her mouth and rinsed her mouth before lying down on the bed with satisfaction. She pulled up her sleeves and looked at her bruised elbow. Her expression immediately turned ugly. That damn Jing Yin. She had caused her to fall on the gravel road and bruise her elbow. He wondered if there were any other bruises. With this thought in mind, Jingyu simply took off her underwear and sat on the bed wearing only a small doo-doo. She twisted her body to see if her waist and hip had been bumped. After taking a closer look, she saw that there was indeed a bruise on her hip bone. She reached out to press it and immediately cried out in pain. If she didn't touch it, she wouldn't feel it. Why did it hurt so much when she touched it? What are you doing? Xiao Qin's face darkened as he looked at Jingyu, who had taken off her clothes and was sitting on the bed. Aya. Jingyu jumped and glared at Xiao Qin. She angrily said, "Why don't you make any noise when you walk?" I knocked on the door. Xiao Qin walked towards Jingyu. When he saw the bruise on Jingyu's elbow, his expression immediately turned cold. He suddenly stepped forward and grabbed Jingyu's arm. He asked, "Who did this?" Jingyu was slightly stunned. She looked at the bruise on her elbow and said, "I fell and hit it." "You can even fall while walking?" Xiao Qin suddenly tightened his grip on Jingyu's arm. Chapter 59. It hurts. Jingyu quickly slapped away Xiao Qin's hand and muttered, "Am I that stupid? I was knocked down by Jing Yin. I'm lucky that I didn't fall into the lake." Jing Yin again. Xiao Qin's expression immediately turned cold. His sharp eyes saw the bruise on Jingyu's hip bone when she took off her clothes. His eyes darkened. Jingyu felt guilty under Xiao Qin's stare and hurriedly looked for clothes to put on. "She wants to knock you into the lake?" Xiao Qin sat down on the bed and narrowed his eyes as he watched Jingyu put on her belt. "It's probably because I made her suffer a slap from Countess Xiling last time, so she hates me." Jingyu shrugged nonchalantly. "Last time, the carriage left early because Jing Yin said that you left with her. This king remembers that Jing Yin is from the prime minister's estate?" Xiao Qin narrowed his eyes and asked. "Yes." Jingyu nodded her head. Her heart was filled with anger. It was indeed that woman's doing. She was wondering why the carriage suddenly left. She thought that Xiao Qin was taking revenge on her, but it turned out that wasn't the case. This king understands. Xiao Qin closed his eyes and stood up to slowly take off his outer clothes. Jingyu watched Xiao Qin's actions with wide eyes. "Ahem, that." Xiao Qin. Jingyu lay on the bed and looked at Xiao Qin as she called out, "Yes." Xiao Qin's hands didn't stop taking off his clothes as he calmly raised his eyes and responded, "Why do you keep squeezing in the same bed as me? The estate is so big. I don't believe that you don't have a place to sleep." Jingyu stared at Xiao Qin and said, "You're right." Xiao Qin casually placed his outer robe on the screen and turned to look at Jingyu. "The estate is so big. This king can sleep wherever he wants." As he spoke, Xiao Qin waved his hand and the fierce wind from his palm extinguished all the candles in the room. Don't turn off the lights." "No, don't put out the candles." Jingyu suddenly sat up and looked at Xiao Qin's figure as he climbed onto the bed. She wanted to cry but had no tears. Her protest failed again. "Sleep." Xiao Qin lay on the bed, turned his head slightly, and closed his eyes. Jingyu sat in place for a while before sighing and lying down as well. Just as she was in a daze, a strong arm wrapped around her waist. Jingyu pushed in annoyance, but found that she couldn't push it away. She didn't care and continued to sleep. Late at night, Xiao Qin woke up and looked at the woman sleeping peacefully in his arms. A strange feeling flashed through his heart. He only felt that his originally cold heart was suddenly filled with a warm current. Xiao Qin couldn't help but want to embrace this warm feeling. When the sky was bright, Jingyu opened her eyes and saw Xiao Qin. She was already used to it. She mumbled and turned over to continue sleeping. Xiao Qin looked at the innocent Jingyu and smiled. He couldn't help but want to tease her. "Don't move." Jingyu was talking to the beautiful man in her dreams. She was about to see him through the haze when she suddenly felt an uncomfortable feeling on her face. She immediately waved her hand unhappily to chase away the uncomfortable feeling and continued to meet the beautiful man in her dreams. "Don't move." Jingyu had just felt something when the uncomfortable feeling came again. Jingyu immediately frowned and turned over to bury her face in the brocade quilt. Xiao Qin's smile slowly deepened. He looked at Jingyu's exposed nape and continued to play with her hair. Chapter 60. Ah, are you done yet? Jingyu was completely enraged this time. She sat up abruptly, opened her eyes, and glared at Xiao Qin, who was playing with her hair and lying beside her with his head propped up. His chest was slightly open, revealing his skin. Jingyu's eyes widened slightly, and she swallowed with difficulty. Too powerful. One word. Handsome. Xiao Qin narrowed his eyes and looked at Jingyu, who looked like she was about to drool uncontrollably. He raised his eyebrows and asked, "Have you seen enough?" "No, cough, 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 why? Why are you still here?" Jingyu almost blurted out her thoughts. She suddenly stopped and pretended to cough before asking with a red face, "What kind of sweet dream is the imperial concubine having? You kept tugging on this king's hand and telling me to stay and accompany you." Xiao Qin slowly stood up and looked at Jingyu from the corner of his eyes. "Now you're asking why this king is still here? Ah, that accident." Jingyu's face instantly turned red. She lowered her head and didn't dare to speak. This time, she had lost a lot of face. Still not willing to get up? Xiao Qin put on his outer clothes as he looked at Jingyu and asked. "No." Jingyu instantly jumped up. She didn't even put on her shoes as she ran to the dressing table and called out Yin Xiao's name. Xiao Qin looked at the lively Jingyu and raised his eyebrows. He buckled his belt and said, "This king will send you to the academy today." Ah. Jingyu tilted her head slightly to look at Xiao Qin and asked, "Why? Why are you talking so much nonsense? Hurry up." Xiao Qin glanced at Jingyu indifferently before turning to leave. "If you don't want to say it, then don't say it." Jingyu pouted and looked at Yin Xiao. "Don't put in so many hairpins, it's heavy." But this servant only inserted 3 hairpins. Yin Xiao instantly felt wronged. Was 3 hairpins still heavy? "Can you help me tie it up with a headband?" Jingyu blinked as she looked at Yin Xiao. Ah, the imperial concubine is a woman. How can she have a hairband to tie up her hair? Only female officials can tie up their hair. Yin Xiao said to Jingyu seriously. Then, just use a hairpin to fix it in place. Throw all the other miscellaneous things aside. Jingyu looked at the dazzling array of jewelry on the dressing table and pushed it aside in disgust, as if she didn't want to see it anymore. Looking at Jingyu's actions, Yin Xiao widened her eyes and sighed helplessly. She really didn't know what the imperial concubine was thinking. Those young misses from official families couldn't wait to wear all the jewelry on their heads, but her own imperial concubine hated these exquisite jewelry so much, she didn't wear any headdress or accessories. Although it was pleasing to the eye, it was more or less impolite. Jingyu didn't think too much about it. As long as she was comfortable, it was fine. How other people looked at her was their business. After Jingyu finished tidying up, she walked out of the Fu. Seeing the black carriage parked at the Fu's entrance, she paused and frowned. Xiao Qin stood by the side of the carriage. Seeing Jingyu walk out, he turned slightly and was about to step onto the carriage. "Xiao Qin, I can go by myself. I don't need you to send me." Jingyu lowered her eyes and said indifferently. She turned to the guard at the door and said, "Bring my carriage here." "Come in." Xiao Qin's expression turned cold as he stared at Jingyu. Displeasure flashed in his eyes as he said, "I'm not going." Jingyu shook her head. "Do you want this king to use force?" Xiao Qin's expression turned completely cold. "You're tuning in to the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.